you ever wondered what happens at a SACAT hearing? Are the rulings fair, or are they in favour towards the tenant or the landlord? My name is Peter Savas. I'm the Vice President of the Landlords Association of South Australia, and in this episode our President Marco Arnis talks to one of our members, Stan, about his recent experience with a SACAT hearing and ruling. Now, we've posted the full ruling at the end of the video if you'd like to have a read of that. And on top of that, if you've ever been to SACAT and had a ruling that you thought wasn't fair or was, we'd like to hear from you. So please reach out to us via our website, landlords.org.au, or via our email addresses, which are in the link in the description below.
All right. So Stan, I just want to tell our audience what happened to you when a tenant failed to pay rent. Essentially, they fell 2 weeks behind in rent. You then gave them Form 2, which was a 7-day reminder, and then you applied to SACAT, so you waited about 4 weeks before your hearing came on. At that first hearing, you discovered that the tenant had pretty much paid all the rent up until the hearing date. So they were just a little bit behind. So consequently, the judge didn't evict because you took them to court for vacant possession. Okay, so you want the property back. That's what you wanted because they didn't pay the rent. So the tribunal member decided not to evict because it pretty much paid up and gave them a set of orders to comply with so that they wouldn't fall behind in rent. Within a month, same bad habits followed. They didn't pay the rent. You applied to SACAT again, and same thing. Just before the hearing, they pretty much paid up. So again, the tribunal member said, no, we can't evict. Okay. A month went by, and same thing happened. This time, when you took them to the tribunal, the tenants didn't rock up, and the tribunal member said, even though they are 1 month behind in rent, I cannot evict because the tenants have complied with the previous 2 orders. Okay? Now, from my point of view, I don't think that the tribunal member made the correct decision because, according to the Residential Tenancies Act, it states clearly in Section 33, the tribunal may amend proceedings if satisfied that the amendment will contribute to the expeditious and just resolution of the questions in issue between the parties. So you initially took them to the tribunal because they hadn't paid rent, and at this third hearing they still hadn't paid rent, but because they complied with the previous 2 orders, they couldn't evict. Now, how did that make you feel, Stan?
I was devastated. I really didn't know what to say. I thought the judge knows what he's doing, and if he makes a decision, it's got to be the right one and the correct one within the law. So I didn't know what else to say, and I said nothing.
So what was your next step?
Just wait and apply for another hearing, which I got in time, and things went my way because they're further behind, and things went my way. The judge attempted to contact the tenants by phone. They didn't respond, so she checked up on all the records, and she knew that everything had been done correctly. So therefore she gave me vacant possession.
Okay, so just to clarify, Stan, the third hearing, they were 4 weeks in arrears. Mm-hmm. Then you had to wait another 4 weeks because you had to reapply with a new case number to avoid this administrative issue. So by the time of the second hearing, you were 8 weeks behind in rent. The tenants were 8 weeks behind in rent. So obviously you're out of pocket there, of course. And when you finally got the house back, in what state did they leave it?
Well, the house was full of clutter and junk. The outside of the yard was like a war zone. the guy was using the place for recycling. The garage was clogged up with all sorts of stuff, electrical stuff, and things that he was trying to recycle, extract metals from, and that went all the way up towards the back fence. And there was various stuff across the front of the house.
So, what did you do about it? Did you take control and clean it up yourself? Did you hire people?
I had to wait 4 weeks because it's I've got to store their stuff. For me to take this out and store it would have cost me quite a bit of money and a lot of effort. So I just waited my 28 days here, and after about 29 or 30 days, I said, that's it, I'm shifting stuff out. And he said, no, you can't do that. I know my rights. And he implied that he said that he'll go to the police and report me if I start taking things off. But I just let it go at that, and that was it. And I started the clean-up.
Right, and how long has that clean-up taken you?
Well, the clean-up's taken me quite a bit of time. I could have paid someone and it would have been done within a matter of days at my expense. I just proceeded to clean the inside of the house and start repairing and fixing and painting. There was lots of little minor modifications they were doing, like the fireplace in the lounge. They put latches on the inside of some of the bedrooms' door, the sort of latches you would put on a bird cage or something like that. So it was done in a rough manner, and there was minor damage like that. There was paint spilled in the garage in a couple of places. I used to use a hammer and chisel to get it off the concrete, then clean it up. There was paint splattered on some of the back walls and just various junk here and there. There's places where the floor in this room has started to deteriorate because there must have been moisture on the floor for that to happen.
So yeah, it's put you out.
It did put me out considerably, and there was some glass I had to replace, and just general scrubbing. And I wasn't in a fit state to do all of that. I was devastated.
Right, yeah, okay. That's unfortunate, but that's the reality of many of our members chasing rent arrears. The only advice we can give you is that you must follow process. As soon as the rent falls behind, follow process. Give Form 2, go to SACAT. Don't waste time, because the tribunal has a tendency of dragging things out to your detriment. So that's our advice for you for the future. Thank you very much.
And if you know anybody that is currently going through a SACAT hearing at the moment, please get them to reach out to us if they require support. We'd be happy to help. All of our details are in the links in the description below. Thank you very much.